Hi friends, can you tell me who is in the image? Yes, you guessed it right. He is a workman. Think about other names that he can be referred to as employee, operative, working man, working woman, worker, etc. etc. Do you consider all these words mean the same? And if not, what might be the difference and how are they understood? These words are many a times used interchangeably. But do you know, for the purpose of law, these words might have different meaning that are not the same as we understand them in a general English language. Welcome to an exciting session on finding out what exactly do these words say, or to put it better, how are these words used by lawmakers and interpreted by our courts. Here lies the need and purpose of looking at the words in their specific connotation and their situations. A word might have many meanings attached to it. But how do you choose the exact meaning? And more so, at that time, when the speaker or writer of the word is not around you to explain the exact meaning of the words spoken or written, or if I may put in a way that we are unable to understand the intention of the speaker. The problem lies exactly here. When one can find difficulty in understanding what one meant in our common conversation, just imagine how could one understand the meaning of the words used by the lawmakers. The words used by the legislature are broad and they use the words in more general terms. Let us take a situation or try to understand it better. There was the man who was caught staging a protest at an RAF station, which was considered to be a prohibited area. He was arrested under the Official Secrets Act 1920 for obstructing a member of the armed forces in the vicinity of a prohibited area. The man's argument was that in the vicinity of was not the same as inside. What do you think? Did the man actually cross the line? As in, should he have been arrested just for being around a protected area? What do you understand by the term vicinity? Does it mean being within the periphery of a premises or being around the place? The court in this case, that is, Adler versus George, 1964, said no and held that in the vicinity of could mean near to or within. Did you notice one thing? The same word could be perceived in a different manner. Just imagine if the man would not have been near the prohibited area and was just passing by a shopping center. Would the result have been the same? There lies the complexity in understanding the words in a legal text. But have you ever imagined why does this happen? Let us find out. The first thing that we should be aware of is that we use the words and the words are like code signals that humans use to share experiences with each other. There is no problem if the code book is same, but in reality, no two code books are same, and most of them are ambiguous and most of them bear different meanings, which can only be determined from the context in which they appear or are spoken. The second thing that attracts our attention is the usage of language. And before we dwell into the other aspects of it, we should know the defects that haunt the usage of language. Language used at times can be very ambiguous. It can be vague. It can be precise. And many a times over or under general as well. Now consider these two images. What did you observe? Would you like to be that customer who cannot understand anything written as the terms and conditions? Or would you like to read a legal document that is out of your apprehension? This is what exactly happens when one comes across some legal text. It becomes really very difficult to understand or interpret what is written in such texts. This again can be related to the complexities in using language. And as such, the language used by the legislature is also not away from the defects or ambiguities. In such a situation, a question arises, or rather, I would put it as a need arises to know what is the interpretation of statutes. Who does this? And why is there a need to interpret the statutes? To find out more, tune into my next session on statutory interpretation and find out the answers to the above questions. Thank you.